Hi students, I am Vivek, lecturer in biology. Today I am going to continue the topic population. Okay. Now the population density is denoted by capital N. Okay. As you know, population is denoted by capital N. Okay. Now the population density is dependent upon number of births and immigration. Isn't it or not? Okay. In a previous class we have discussed that population is dependent upon the number of births, okay, as well as immigration, and we will eliminate, what we are going to eliminate, deaths and immigrants. Okay. This is what we have observed in the previous session. Now, this equation can also be written in this manner, in which population density can be dependent on number of births and deaths. Okay? It is also dependent on number of births and deaths, and it is also in a closed system. There is no much importance given for immigration and emigration. Okay? Now, this equation can also be written as number of births minus deaths, okay, plus number of immigrants minus immigrants, okay, number of births minus deaths and number of immigrants minus immigrants. At last what you are going to get means birth and immigrants. Isn't it or not? So this equation can be written in two forms. Even in multiple choice question also, the population density equations might given in different forms. So you have to choose wisely. Okay. Now ultimately population is dependent upon natality, mortality, immigration and emigration. As you know that natality means the number of births in a given time period, whereas mortality is contrast to the natality. Okay, natality, mortality. Mortality means number of deaths in a given time period. As you know, immigration means a single species has come into a new habitat, is known as immigration. Immigration means a total number of species that have gone elsewhere, means some amount of species have migrated to other location, that is known as immigration. It is denoted by capital E. Whereas in a closed, okay, particularly in a closed system, the population is just denoted as birth minus death. This is enough for a population density. Okay. Now the population density is dependent upon the birth rate and death rate. Okay, ultimately how it is dependent means it is dependent on birth rate and death rate. Okay. Now the birth rate, okay, which is denoted by small b. Okay, death rate is denoted by small d. Now it is dependent upon the number of individuals in that particular habitat. Okay, let's take one of the closed pond. Okay, in this pond you can find 20 lotus flowers. Okay, you can find 20 lotus flowers. In these 20 lotus flowers individuals, we have added 8 new lotus flowers to this pond. Okay, we have added 8 new flowers. Means you have found that 8 new lotus flowers are grown in this 20 groups of lotus. So ultimately total number of lotus flowers found in this habitat means 28. Okay, in a closed pond, at the beginning what you have observed means only 20 lotus flowers. After some time we have seen that 8 new lotus flowers have germinated. So at last how many lotus flowers are present means 28. So there is 8 number increase in that population. Okay, by considering this we have to mention first how many individuals are grown in that and previous population, that is 20. By dividing this, okay, you get a 0.4. Okay, this is the value of birth rate, particularly of a closed pond of lotus. Okay, now similarly we can also find the death rate in any population. Okay, now let's see the death rate. Okay, particularly the death rate we use means we find the this death rate with one of the example. Okay, now in a petri dish, okay, in this petri dish we have found that 40 fruit flies were growing in this petri dish. Okay, actually there are 40 fruit flies in this petri dish. Okay, but unfortunately after few weeks what we have observed means 4 fruit flies, okay, 4 fruit flies were found to be dead. Okay, there are 4 fruit flies who are dead in this. So as you know, okay, death rate is dependent upon number of deaths and total number of individuals, that is 40. If you divide this, you are going to get 0.1. Okay, so the population density is dependent upon the birth rate and death rate. Okay, birth rate means by dividing number of new individuals and previous. Here also number of dead by total population. With this we get the population with birth rate and death rate. Now keeping this mind, okay, if the birth rate, okay, in a population, if the birth rate is greater than death rate, then the per capita growth rate will also greater than 0. Okay, please note down, the birth rate is greater than death rate, then automatically per capita growth rate, okay, that is intrinsic rate of population will also be greater than 0. Okay, similarly if the birth rate is lesser than death rate, okay, birth rate is lesser than death rate, then per capita growth rate will also less than 0. Okay, now if birth rate is equal to death rate, okay, if the birth rate is equal to death rate, then per capita growth rate is also equal to 0. Okay, this is very important. On the basis of this per capita growth rate, we can easily predict the nature of population density at various levels. Okay, ultimately if the birth rate is greater than death, then per capita growth rate, that is small r, value will be greater than 1, means it will always be greater than 0, that is 1, 2, like that. If the birth rate is less, death rate is more, then this r value will also decreases, means it will be less than 0. In previous greater than 0, here less than 0. Okay, if both are equal, then r value is equal to 0. Okay, ultimately the population density is dependent upon the birth rate and death rate as well as r value. Okay, r value means per capita growth rate. Okay, now here if you see, okay, this n can be represented as, okay, the n can be directly represented as births minus deaths. Okay, as you know, this is completely dependent on the population, so at n. Now this population, now as you know, birth rate is completely, birth rate and death rate is dependent upon the per capita growth rate. Now we can substitute this b minus d as r n naught. Okay, this is the substitution we can use, and I will continue this substitution. Okay, now keep this in mind. Okay, ultimately the birth rate and death rate is dependent upon the per capita growth rate. Okay, now let's see the population, okay, in a habitat, whether it is expanding, stable or declining. Okay, any population, whether it is expanding, it is stable or declining, we can check with the help of age pyramids. Okay, with the help of age pyramids, what we can check means we can easily denote the, okay, whether the population is decreasing or increasing. Okay, only with the help of age pyramids we can easily get the value of a particular habitat and their population. Okay, now age pyramid, I am going to show the age pyramid, one of the conical age pyramid. Okay, this is one of the conical age pyramid in which bottom half is more longer than top one. Okay, now the bottom half of the cone is much more expanded. Okay, here we have to consider one thing, that this age pyramid is dependent, means it is categorized each block of the age pyramid. Okay, each block of the cone pyramid is divided on the basis of the age group. Okay, that is pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive. Okay, what they have mentioned means pre-reproductive. Okay, pre-reproductive. Okay, pre-reproductive, next reproductive and post-reproductive. One thing you have to remember, that pre-reproductive age pyramid includes particularly the age group of children's. Okay, the age group which are quite about 1 to 13 age group children's. Okay, the pre-reproductive, okay, age pyramid particularly indicates the age group of 1 to 13, whereas in the block, okay, the block which is having the reproductive means the age group greater than 13 years, means they can be 14 to 25. Okay, this is the pyramid which shows the age difference and their positions. Okay, now one more stack is represented. In that let's assume that 25 to 30 age group individuals are present in this block. Okay, are you able to understand? Okay, the age pyramid is classified into three broad categories. The first bottommost category says the pre-reproductive block. In this particularly age group of 1 to 13, that is most of the children's, okay, most of the children's which are growing in that habitat are grouped in this category. Okay, now in the second block what you are going to observe means the reproductive individuals. Okay, the age group of students greater than 14 years of age, means the children's, now the whatever the population group are matured and they can take part in the reproduction. Okay, this block denotes the reproductive phase, whereas the remaining second half, okay, what it denotes means post reproductive. Okay, here you can find the post reproductive population, means all the individuals, okay, who are growing with means their age can be greater than 50. Okay, here let's consider the age group of 50, 60, 70s. Okay, ultimately in the age pyramid you can find different age groups in different blocks. Okay, the bottom half of the age pyramid says the pre-reproductive, means the young children's population is denoted in this way. Okay, remember students, whenever a age pyramid representing with expanded bottom half of the pyramid means it will definitely have a good habitat, means the any habitat if it is having expanded bottom half means expanded pre-reproductive stage means definitely it will have a good habitat. Okay, due to the presence of the good means food and space are sufficiently present in that habitat, that's why only you can find more number of young individuals. Okay, so the habitat is completely dependent upon this. Okay, in this habitat the bottom half is expanded, So the population is always expanding. Means one thing that is clear, that any population, if it is having more number of young individuals, then that population will be always expanding. Okay, any population if it is having less number of young individuals, then it is considered as declining. Okay, let me show the second diagram. Okay, in this okay, here I am going to show you the stable population, how it will be. Okay, let's consider this is the pre-reproductive. Okay, this is the pre-reproductive stage. Now pre-reproductive stage population is equal to the reproductive stage. Okay, here the two blocks resembling the same, means here how many, here let's see that there are 5,000 individuals. Okay, they have given birth to the youngs to 5,000 individuals only. Okay, now this is reproductive stage. Okay, this half indicates the reproductive and bottom half indicates the pre-reproductive. Reproductive. Okay, here as you know, the post-reproductive, okay, all old individuals are kept in this half. Okay, the top, okay, top positions of the pyramid is including all the post-reproductive. Means all old age individuals are present in this pyramid. Okay, whereas the most reproducing organisms are included in the reproductive phase, and the bottom half of the pyramid indicates the pre-reproductive, means very young children of age group of 1 to 13 age groups are included in this. Okay, here if you observe the two pyramids, here it shows the more longer pre-reproductive, means it is having more number of young individuals. Here if you observe, shows the same number of population. Okay, the population of reproductive as well as pre-reproductive are similar, then this can be considered as stable. It is a stable age pyramid. Okay, whereas the pyramid which is having much more expanded, then it is the population also expand, because these young individuals has the ability to grow further and they can grow up to 80-90 years. Means this population can remain constant for about 80 to 90 years. Why? Because these young individuals has the ability to produce few more populations. So anything which is represented in this manner. Pre-reproductive means very young individuals in a habitat. Reproductive means the organisms which are undergoing reproduction. Post-reproductive means they have entered into old age group. Okay, so ultimately a habitat health is dependent upon the pre-reproductive. If the higher the number of individuals in pre-reproductive, then automatically the habitat is good and it will be expanding in nature. Okay, now the last one pyramid, that is quite opposite in nature. In that what you can find means the number of young individuals are less, means the reproductive group of individuals have produced very less young individuals. That I can show in this manner. Okay, let's see. This is the reproductive block, means the age group of 14 to 25 or 25 to 30 individuals are present in this pyramid. Okay, now these group of individuals have produced very less offsprings. Let's consider 5,000 individuals have given birth only to 3,000. Okay, after few years these 3,000 individuals will produce only about 1,000. So what here happening means the number of young individuals are decreasing. Okay, the pre-reproductive individuals are decreasing. Okay, whereas the post-reproductive individuals may remain. Okay, they may die. At certain age, after entering to the 80s or 90s, this population can decrease. But if you have very less young number of individuals, then the population is in danger. Completely the population is decreasing. So this pyramid can be considered as declining. Okay, declining. Okay, this is expanding. Why? Because any population pyramid expanding means it is having more number of pre-reproductive individuals. Any population, if it is having same number of reproductive and pre-reproductive, then it is considered as stable. If any population is having reduced number of young individuals, then that population is in danger and it is considered as declining. I hope these three age pyramids will definitely give you a complete broad idea, and particularly in a NEET point of view as well as CET exams, you can find any one of the pyramid and they will ask the nature of that age pyramid. If the lengthier base and steep top means the conical form of pyramid, then it is considered as expanding. Okay, any population having more number of individuals, young individuals, that is expanding. Okay, same number of reproductive and pre-reproductive means it is in the stable. If the pre-reproductive individuals are too less, means the reproductive stage people have produced very less number of young individuals, then the population is decreasing. Okay, and one more thing you have to remember, that the line which dissects the pyramids, okay, you can find one of the line which dissects the pyramid. Okay, what this line indicates means one half of the side is for the male individuals, means a particular age group, how many male individuals and how many females. Okay, at all blocks, okay, at all age pyramids you can find one half for the male and another half for the female. Here also one half for the male and another half for the females. Means there you can easily expand and you can find the number of boys as well as girls. So this is the differentiation. For the differentiation only the line dissects the two halves. Okay, this is the age pyramid. Okay, now let's continue our population density. Okay, as you know, the population density can also expressed in a graphical manner. Okay, the population density is also expressed in a graphical manner. Okay, let's see how the population density can be represented in graphical manner. Okay, as you know, while developing natural theory, okay, Darwin has observed that each species has the ability to realize the importance of growth in a particular habitat if the resource is available and unlimited. Then the population grow its maximum level. Okay, while doing natural selection, okay, the Darwin, while doing the natural selection, the scientists have observed that species has the ability to realize the number of, means it has the ability to realize the nature of that habitat, and even it can predict how many number of individuals it can provide in if the provided habitat is having enormous amount of resources. Okay, any habitat if it is having enormous amount of resources, then the population can reach its maximum. Okay, it is represented as J-shaped curve. Okay, it is represented as J-shaped curve. Okay, a population density which is plotted against to the time. Okay, here the time, it indicates the time. Okay, it indicates the time in that period, and here in the upper direction what you can find means population density. Here you can find the population density. Okay, the population density increases when resources are plenty and the species will automatically predict its ability and it will grow in its own habitat if resources are available. Okay, in certain habitats the resources are confined to only for certain population. Okay, let's consider the carrying capacity. Okay, we denote it as ck, we denote it as k. Okay, and k denotes the carrying, k denotes the carrying capacity. Okay, carrying capacity, what it says means it has okay nature's limit for supporting maximum number of species. Okay, it will support maximum number up to this stage only. Okay, more than this it cannot support. Okay, now J-shaped curve is considered as exponential growth. Okay, J-shaped curve is considered as exponential growth, whereas the population which is growing under carrying capacity, okay, here the population grows at one stage in lag phase. After this it reaches to the acceleration. At some moment it will lead to the deceleration. Okay, next it will reach to the apoptosis. Okay, this is the sigmoid curve and is expressed as logistic growth. Okay, logistic growth. This is expanding, this is logistic. Okay, now keeping this, let's see how a population growed in a well food, it is having sufficient amount of food and resources. Same one of the population which is growing under limited resource. Okay, this graph indicates that the population is growing only at a limited resource, whereas the J-shaped curve indicates that population is growing with enormous amount, unlimited resource and food. Okay, any population can grow its any population grow its number if the resources are plenty. Okay, any population can stop its number if the resources are limited. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. Now the population density in this manner. Okay, now the population is expanding. Okay, as to you might have known that the population, okay, you might have knowing the only beginning of the population. Okay, you are knowing only a beginning population density, and now you are going to make the population equation. Okay, clear that? Here if the population is knowing only at a certain point, it is denoted by dn by dt. Okay, ecologists use differential calculus to express the population density. Okay, it is represented as d, okay, birth minus deaths, and n naught. Here you know we have substituted birth minus death is equal to r. So dn by dt equal to rn naught. Okay, this equation is completely applicable for the exponential growth. Okay, this equation is applicable for the exponential growth. Okay, whereas in certain habitats, okay, it is confined. Okay, whereas in certain habitats where you are knowing only the maximum population and you are knowing the per capita growth rate, then if you want to find the population at a certain time, then we use the n, okay, nt, okay, is equal to n naught ert. Okay, here the t denotes time and n naught denotes the population at time 0, e denotes the constant. Okay, e denotes the constant, its value is 2.718. okay, it is always constant, where r is equal to, as you know, per capita growth rate, t is time. Okay, now if the population, okay, population in logistic growth curve can be calculated with the help of same equation, but it is having carrying capacity as its limit. It is having carrying capacity as its limit. So substituting dN by dt equal to Rn naught, okay, and it is having carrying capacity minus N by carrying capacity. So this equation is applicable for logistic, okay, logistic growth curve. Okay, this equation is particularly applicable for the logistic growth curve. Okay, this is the population densities at different levels. Okay, the population is growing exponentially, one of the population is growing logistically. Okay, it is also known as Verhulst-Peierl logistic growth curve. Okay, this is how we will expand the equation of the population density. Okay, I hope you have understand this topic. If you have any doubts, you can comment below. We will clarify in coming next classes. Thank you.